Have you ever wondered why some people speak and life bends to their words, while others speak and nothing changes? There's a hidden power in the human voice, a current that flows beneath every syllable. Long ago, ancient mystics believed that words were not sounds, but seeds. Seeds that once spoken would grow into the very fabric of reality. And maybe without even noticing, you've been planting seeds all along, seeds of fear, of doubt, of longing, watching them bloom into the life you now live. Imagine this: a young shepherd standing alone on a hill at dusk. He has no wealth, no title, no weapons, but he whispers into the wind with absolute certainty, declaring safety, declaring abundance, declaring victory. And somehow, against every odd, his flock is protected, his path always opens, and his enemies scatter before him. Not because he fought harder, but because he spoke differently. His tongue was the key. His voice was the weapon. His certainty was the shield. Now pause and ask yourself, what have your words been commanding? Do you speak like a creator or like a prisoner repeating the same old story? The truth is unsettling. Life is not responding to what you want. It is responding to what you say. Every casual sentence, every hidden complaint, every whispered hope, each one is a brushstroke painting your tomorrow. What if your delays, your struggles, your endless waiting were not fate, but echoes of the language you've chosen? What if the very reality resisting you has only been obeying the tone of your own voice? There is a mystery here, one that explains why some doors remain closed no matter how much you knock, and why others swing open with a single declaration. The answer does not lie in the stars above, but in the vibration within your chest. And once you uncover it, nothing in your life will ever move the same way again. Because the real question is not whether your words have power. The real question is, are you ready to discover what they've been creating all along? Have you ever had a dream so vivid that it clung to you long after you opened your eyes, as if it were not a dream at all, but a message waiting to be decoded? Maybe it was the same scene playing over and over again, walking down a hallway, standing before an unknown door, or hearing a voice that felt familiar yet distant. You wake with a heaviness in your chest, unable to shake the thought that it wasn't random. Deep down, something whispers, "This means more than you think." And it doesn't stop there. You check the clock and it's 11:11 again. You brush it off the first few times, maybe even laugh. But then it happens every day, sometimes twice. You see repeating numbers on receipts, license plates, street signs. It's almost as if reality itself is trying to catch your attention, tapping on your shoulder with codes hidden in plain sight. At first, you wonder if it's coincidence, but the more it happens, the less you can ignore it. Then, there are those moments when your body knows before your mind does. You enter a room, and the air feels heavy, your skin prickles, your heart races without reason. Or perhaps you feel an unexplainable calm wash over you in a moment of despair, like invisible arms wrapping around you. Science calls it intuition, psychology calls it the subconscious, but your soul knows it's something more. These sensations are not accidents. They are signals, like sparks in the dark, guiding you toward a deeper truth. Think about the times you've had a thought of someone you hadn't spoken to in years, and within hours they send you a message. Or the times you felt an urgent pull to take a different route home, only to later hear of an accident on the road you avoided. We call it luck, we call it chance, but what if it is neither? What if it is a language, an ancient invisible communication between you and the unseen forces that weave reality together? Many people carry silent frustration because they don't understand this language. They see the signs but dismiss them. They feel the pull but bury it under logic. They hear the whispers but drown them out with noise, and so they live cut off from the very compass meant to guide them. They keep searching for answers outside, not realizing the signals have always been around them. On the clock, in the body, in the dreams, in the coincidences that aren't coincidences at all. This is why life feels confusing, why it seems as though things never align. Because most people aren't blind, they're just not listening. They keep asking for signs, but fail to recognize the alphabet of the universe when it speaks. Imagine trying to navigate a city without understanding the street signs. You'd wander in circles, missing the path laid out before you. That's what happens when we ignore the signals that press into our everyday lives. But here's the truth that pierces through the silence. These signs are not random background noise. They are targeted messages, breadcrumbs scattered across your path by something far greater than chance. Dreams are not just the byproduct of a restless mind. Numbers are not just math on a screen. Feelings are not just chemical surges. They are part of a coded system designed to pull you into alignment with what is waiting for you. So the question lingers, pressing heavier with each unexplained moment. If your dreams, your numbers, your sensations are all pieces of a hidden language, what is it trying to tell you right now? Have you ever wondered why repeating numbers follow you like shadows? 1111 glowing on the clock, 222 on a receipt, 777 flashing on a license plate. For some, it feels playful, like the universe is winking. For others, it feels unsettling, as if reality itself is leaving breadcrumbs. The first great secret is this: numbers are not accidents. They are frequencies, and frequencies are the language of creation. Ancient traditions knew this well. The Pythagoreans in Greece called numbers the music of the spheres, believing the entire cosmos sang in mathematical harmony. The Hebrews, in their sacred texts, hid codes within the Torah that linked numbers with divine names. In Revelation, John describes heaven not with vague poetry, but with precise measures. 12 gates, 12 angels, a city laid out as a perfect square. Numbers are not decoration, they are revelation. So when 1111 appears again and again in your life, it is not a glitch, it is a summons. In numerology, the number 1 represents creation, beginning, the spark of existence. When mirrored as 1111, it becomes a gateway, a moment where the veil thins, where your thoughts imprint faster, where what you speak can leap into manifestation. It is as though the universe pauses and says, "Declare now, for the field is listening." Think of Jacob's dream in Genesis, where he sees a ladder reaching from earth to heaven, angels ascending and descending upon it. That ladder is the same pattern of alignment. Numbers like 1111 are modern reminders of that ancient bridge, moments where the invisible and the visible intertwine. It is why you often see them in times of decision, transition, or awakening. But here lies the deeper truth most never hear. Numbers are not just signs, they are mirrors. They reveal the state of your inner world. If you constantly see repeating sequences, it is because your consciousness is pressing against the walls of the ordinary, trying to break through. The number is not sent to you, it is pulled by you. Your energy calls it forth as confirmation that you are stepping into alignment. Imagine a woman feeling lost, unsure of her path. She prays in silence, asking for guidance. That day, as she drives home, she sees 444 on every corner, on the gas station sign, on the billboard, even on the price of her groceries. Later, she learns that 444, across many traditions, is a symbol of protection, of angelic presence surrounding her. Did those numbers just happen, or were they a direct answer to a cry too deep for words? This is the hidden teaching. Numbers are living symbols. They are not passive patterns. They are messages coded into the very framework of reality, waiting for the attentive soul to notice. When you start to recognize them, it is as though you are learning to read the handwriting of the divine. And once you can read it, you realize you have never truly been alone. The ancients called this gematria, sacred geometry, the law of correspondence. Modern science calls it resonance and frequency. But underneath every name, the principle is the same. Creation is mathematical. And mathematics is not cold, it is intimate. It is the fingerprint of God etched into your daily life. So when numbers appear, don't dismiss them. Pause. Ask yourself, what was I thinking in that moment? What was I feeling? What choice stands before me? For the number is not only a sign, it is a spotlight pointing directly at the crossroads of your soul. And here is where the true power lies. When you respond consciously to these signs, you step into the role of co-creator. You are no longer drifting through life blindfolded. You are walking with a map that few ever learn to read. Most people live their entire lives calling it coincidence. But for those who awaken, every number becomes a doorway, every sequence becomes a whisper, every pattern becomes proof. The first great secret, then, is that the universe is not silent. It is speaking constantly, through numbers, through frequencies, through patterns too precise to ignore. And those who learn to listen gain access to a language older than any written script, a language that does not describe life, but designs it. This is why the numbers chase you. They are not just signs. They are invitations. Invitations into alignment, into clarity, into remembrance of who you are and what you are capable of. And if this has been happening to you, if 1111 follows you, if dreams replay, if strange alignments make you pause, know that you are not crazy. You are being called. Before we go further, I want to invite you to support this space of hidden knowledge. Like this video and subscribe, not just as a button click, but as a declaration that you are ready to step deeper into this circle, into this community of seekers who dare to read what others overlook. Because beyond numbers, another mystery waits. A signal even more intimate, one that enters not through the eyes, but through the very currents of your body. And once you discover it, you will never feel the same about the sensations you carry within. Her name was Claire. To anyone on the outside, she was ordinary. A school teacher in a small town, her life mapped out by routine, chalk on her fingers, papers stacked on her desk, the hum of fluorescent lights above her head. But inside, she carried a silent heaviness. She had prayed for years for direction, for some sign that her life meant more than repeating the same motions until the end. It began on a cold November evening. Claire sat alone at her kitchen table, sipping tea gone lukewarm. She had just returned from a parent-teacher conference that left her drained, her confidence chipped away by criticism. She whispered aloud, not as a prayer, but almost as a sigh, "God, if you're real, if you hear me at all, show me something." That night, she dreamed of a corridor, endless and white, with doors on both sides. She walked slowly, her hand brushing against each doorknob, but only one door glowed faintly. She reached for it, but before she could open it, she woke up, her alarm flashing 3:33 a.m. She tried to shake it off, but the dream returned the next night, and the next. Always the same corridor, always the same glowing door, always 3:33 staring back at her when she woke. At first, Claire dismissed it. Coincidence, she told herself, but then the numbers started following her. A student's essay graded at 33 points. A receipt for groceries totaled $33.30. A friend called to invite her to coffee at 3:33 p.m. The repetition became impossible to ignore. It was as if reality had bent itself to answer her whispered cry at the kitchen table. Claire decided to search. She learned that in ancient texts, the number 3 symbolized divine wholeness, Father, Son, and Spirit, Trinity, completion. Seeing it repeated 3 times was not chance. It was emphasis, urgency, an exclamation point from heaven. And in that moment she realized the glowing door in her dream was not random. It was an invitation. The change was subtle at first. She began speaking differently. Instead of saying, "I'm stuck in this job," she declared, "I am being guided into purpose." Instead of saying, "I feel invisible," she whispered, "I'm seen." and with each declaration, she felt her body respond. Lighter shoulders, steadier breath, a spark of courage where fear once sat. Then came the turning point. One morning, while driving to school, Claire passed a small community center she had never noticed before. On the marquee outside were the words, "Open Doors Workshop, find the path within." And the time listed, 3:33 p.m. Her hands trembled on the steering wheel. It was the door, the same one from her dream, now waiting in the daylight. She went that afternoon. Inside, she met people who spoke openly of signs, of numbers, of synchronicities. She realized she wasn't alone. Others had seen what she had seen, felt what she had felt. For the first time, her hidden experiences weren't strange. They were sacred. That night, as she lay in bed, the corridor returned in her dream. But this time, she pushed the glowing door open. And when she stepped through, she awoke with tears streaming down her face. Tears not of confusion, but of recognition. Claire's life did not become instantly perfect. Bills still arrived, papers still needed grading. But her perception shifted entirely. The signs had cracked open the wall she thought separated her from the divine. She no longer begged for proof. She walked with assurance. And slowly, her outer world began to follow. A new career path unfolded. Relationships deepened. Her body even healed from an illness doctors once said would linger for life. And it all began with a pattern she could have ignored, but chose instead to follow. The number 333 became her compass, her reminder that the universe had been speaking all along, and she had finally learned to listen. Now pause and look at your own life. Have you ever had a dream that repeated itself? A number that followed you? A strange coincidence that made you pause? These are not trivial moments. They may be the same kind of doors waiting for you to open them. I want you to share with me. What signs have appeared in your life? What patterns have whispered to you in the quiet? Leave a comment with your experience. I read them carefully, and in future videos, I may even share your story with this community, because your sign might be the confirmation someone else desperately needs, because beyond numbers and dreams, there is another signal, even more personal, one that doesn't come from clocks or receipts, but from the pulse inside your own chest. And once you understand it, you'll realize the body itself is a prophet. There is a sign even more intimate than numbers on a clock or doors in a dream. A sign that doesn't appear outside of you, but inside, woven into your very heartbeat, your breath, the way your body reacts before your mind understands. This second great secret is the language of intuition through sensation, the body as a living compass. Think back to the times your skin prickled when you were about to step into the wrong situation, or the way your stomach tightened just before receiving bad news, or the inexplicable calm that filled you when you made the right choice, even if logic screamed otherwise. These are not random impulses. They are spiritual instruments tuned to frequencies beyond the five senses. Ancient mystics called it the inner witness. Indeed, in Scripture, the prophet Elijah did not hear God in the earthquake, nor in the fire, nor in the wind, but in the still, small voice. That voice often doesn't sound like words. It feels like a weight in your chest, a warmth in your hands, or a sudden knowing that bypasses explanation. Modern science calls it the nervous system, but the ancients knew it as the whisper of the divine through the temple of the body. Here is the hidden truth. Your body is not betraying you with random sensations. It is signaling alignment or misalignment. When something resonates with your higher path, your body loosens, breath flows, your shoulders drop. When something is out of alignment, you feel contraction, resistance, unease. This is why some environments make you feel instantly drained, while others leave you inexplicably energized. But how do you use this secret in daily life? The technique is simple but profound, the pause and feel practice. Pause before deciding, whether it's a conversation, an opportunity, or even a simple choice. Stop for just a moment. Close your eyes if you can. Ask silently, does this path expand me or contract me? Listen to the body. Expansion feels like openness, breath, a small lift in your chest. Contraction feels like tension, a knot, heaviness. Trust the first signal. The body speaks faster than the mind. It delivers truth before logic has a chance to argue. Try it now, even as you listen. Think of a decision you've been wrestling with. Let the thoughts settle in your mind. Then notice your body. Does your heart race in anxiety, or does a quiet peace emerge? That sensation is not trivial. It is the body echoing what your soul already knows. Over time, practicing this builds confidence. You'll notice how often your first sensation was right, how many troubles could have been avoided if you had trusted it sooner. And slowly, you begin to live less from confusion and more from clarity. Consider Claire's story again. After the signs of 333, she still doubted, but when she stepped into the community center, her body relaxed instantly. The same heaviness she carried at her kitchen table dissolved. That physical confirmation was more powerful than any explanation. Her intuition, written into her nerves and muscles, told her, "You are home." This is the second great secret. Numbers point you toward the path, but your body confirms it. Without tuning into sensation, you may see the sign yet hesitate to act. With it, you walk with conviction, because the truth doesn't just live in the mind, it lives in your flesh, in your very breath. So here is your challenge. Today, practice once. The next time you face a choice, pause. Ask, does this expand me or contract me? Write down what you feel. Even if it doesn't make sense yet, track it. Over time, you will build a record of your body's prophetic accuracy. Remember, this is not a gift for a chosen few. You don't need to be a mystic, a saint, or a prophet. You already carry this technology inside you. It was designed into your being, waiting to be remembered. And yet, there is something more. Beyond numbers, beyond dreams, beyond even the wisdom of the body, there lies a signal so deep, so hidden, that few ever recognize it. A sign that doesn't just guide, it transforms. One that, once revealed, will change the way you understand the very fabric of reality. What is this final signal, and why is it so rarely spoken of? There is a signal deeper than dreams, more intimate than numbers, more certain than even the trembling language of the body. It does not flash across your phone screen or echo in coincidence. It speaks in silence. It is the hidden alignment between your word, your heart, and the unseen field that holds all creation. This is the third and greatest secret. When your inner state and your spoken word become one, reality has no choice but to obey. Mystics have always hinted at this truth. In the Gospel of John, it is written, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Not the thought, not the hope, the Word. Sound carried on breath, clothed in certainty, vibrating into existence. The ancients understood that creation is not an act of asking, it is an act of declaring with full alignment. When you speak and your heart trembles with doubt, your words scatter like ashes in the wind. But when you speak from the marrow of your being, when thought, feeling, and vibration align, your word is no longer wishful. It is law. It reshapes reality at its root, like a seed cracking the earth open with silent, unstoppable force. This is why so many prayers go unanswered. Not because heaven is deaf, but because the lips say what the heart does not embody. The language of creation requires coherence. When the mind says one thing, the body another, and the heart hides in fear, the frequency fractures. But when all three align, your voice becomes the voice of creation itself. Think of the prophets who spoke and kingdoms trembled, seas parted, fire fell from heaven. Their power was not in eloquence, it was in coherence. They had become the message before they ever opened their mouths. Their words were simply the echo of what was already true in their being. And here lies the climax. The greatest sign is not outside of you at all. It is the moment when your being becomes indivisible, when you no longer say to believe, but believe so fully that speaking becomes a natural overflow. In that state, your words are not requests, they are revelations. Pause here with me. Breathe in. Feel your chest rise. Place your hand over your heart. Ask yourself, what am I declaring with every breath I take? Because whether you realize it or not, each breath is a prayer, each word is a decree. And the field around you, the unseen web scientists call the quantum field, mystics call the spirit, organizes itself around the vibration you release. This is not theory, it is law. Just as sound waves can shatter glass, your coherent speech can shatter the illusions that bind your life. Just as a single drop of water can ripple across a still pond, your voice ripples across the fabric of reality. I want to pause for a moment and speak to you directly. If these truths resonate, if they stir something deep inside you, then I invite you, subscribe to this channel and like this video. Not as a transaction, not for profit, because this work is not driven by money. It is born of passion, of devotion, of the calling to awaken souls. Every subscription, every like is not just support, it is fuel. It is what allows this community to grow into a circle of seekers, a family bound not by blood, but by the shared hunger for truth. If your heart beats faster as you hear these words, know that you are already part of this circle. And now, listen closely. The deepest sign is not the number you see, not the dream you repeat, not even the sensation that stirs in your chest. It is the moment when silence itself begins to answer you, when the world outside bends to reflect the certainty within, when you no longer look for proof because your very presence is the proof. This is the hidden prophecy that one day humanity would remember the power of the word, not as superstition, but as spiritual technology. We are living in that prophecy now. You are part of it. Every time you choose coherence over confusion, every time you speak not as one who begs, but as one who embodies, you fulfill it. And yet, there is still one final step. A truth that does not only inspire, but commissions. A mission that flows naturally once you recognize who you are and what your voice was designed to do. Because the question that now remains is not, do words create reality? You already know they do. The question is, what will you do with that power? There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when the scattered fragments finally reveal the hidden pattern. The dreams that once felt random, the numbers that seemed like coincidences, the sensations in the body that felt unexplainable, all of them weave together into a single message. You were never wandering without guidance. Every sign was a call. Every repetition was a whisper. Every stirring was an invitation to awaken. Perhaps you have felt it all along, that gentle pull in the quiet hours of the night when you wonder if life is more than routines, bills, and unspoken fears. The truth is that those whispers were not born in your imagination. They were seeds planted by something greater, waiting for you to notice. And now you see them for what they truly are, reminders that you are not separate from creation, but a vital participant in it. Think of how far this journey has carried you already. First came the recognition of numbers, those sacred codes that slipped into your days like messages folded in the margins of time. Then came the body itself, awakening as a living compass, guiding you through expansion and contraction, teaching you to trust sensation as a language of spirit. And finally, the revelation of coherence, the word made alive within you, where speech, heart, and presence fuse into power. Together, these signs form a holy trinity of guidance, external, internal, and eternal. The greatest gift of all is not the signs themselves, but what they reveal about you, that you are more than circumstance, that your words are not echoes, but instruments, that your very breath carries the rhythm of divine creation. Once you recognize this, you are no longer a wanderer. You are a co-creator. You are not waiting for miracles. You are the miracle in motion. So here is the invitation. Do not let these revelations fade into mere inspiration. Let them transform into action. Begin to speak with alignment. Begin to pause and feel before you choose. Begin to honor the signs that appear in your path, not as accidents, but as assignments. Each choice to listen is a step into destiny. And I want this circle to be more than a video you watch alone. I want it to be a living community, a gathering of seekers who share, who confirm, who remind each other that we are not walking this road by ourselves. That is why I ask you, leave a comment with your name and your city. Let me know who you are and where you are listening from. In the next video, I will mention some of you by name, offering a blessing to those who stand with us, because when your name is spoken, it becomes part of this living chain of voices declaring a higher reality. And while you are here, if this message stirred something in you, if you felt seen, if you felt called, then I ask you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Not out of habit, but out of connection. Every like, every subscription is a thread, weaving you deeper into this community of awakening souls. This is not built on profit, it is built on passion, on the fire of sharing truths that too many have forgotten. Carry this with you as you go. You are not a bystander in life's story. You are an author. Your words are ink, your presence is paper, your voice is the press that shapes reality. Speak with coherence, listen with openness, walk with awareness, and you will discover that the universe does not resist you, it responds to you. And as you step into this new awareness, know that this is not the end of revelation, it is only the threshold. For beyond every sign lies another mystery, waiting to unfold. The next unveiling will take you even deeper